Is Wednesday, August 3rd. I had to look at the date. Thank God for that on the top of the screen. It is 1 p.m. It is not Thursday. You're like, wait a second. Yeah, this ain't right. That's because I'm going to be busy and I'm going on vacation. I'm like pumped. I haven't done a real family vacation in 12 years. I know it's sad, but there is something amazing as a business owner when you finally get a team that is so awesome that you can actually take a vacation. So I'm actually really pumped about that. Anyways, I have an amazing topic to go over with you today. Laurie-Ann is live in Florida. So she's on vacation right now, but she's still taking the time to be here with you. We're going to be back in 30 seconds. And what is it about? About how 9 out of 10 CEOs do not want to hear this conversation today because you're probably going to screw the pooch on an opportunity coming up as our country and a lot of things are starting to take an economic shift. Be back in 30 seconds. Get ready to learn or get pissed off. It's on you. Talk to you. Yeah, I am still pumped every time I see that new intro. Donnie, you're amazing.
It's really nice.
It is really nice. Donnie's awesome. Everybody needs a Donnie. They need a Donnie, a Kate, and Anita, a Braden, and of course, a Laurie-Ann.
It's nice to have a good team, isn't it?
It is. It's awesome. I'm so excited about where the show is going. Laurie-Ann, you want to share a little bit about some of the guests that we've been getting lined up?
Oh, yes. I have got, well, let's see. Next week, we're going to be talking about women in leadership. I'm bringing in a friend of mine, Michael Kilpatrick. I always flub up her last name. Her and I are going to be talking about women in leadership. I've also got some other people who are going to be talking about leadership and their cable. That's going to be Patrick. I've also got Luke is coming on, and he is a former Air Force. And
well, not just that, he's a fighter pilot. He's a former fighter pilot, right? That's right. That's right.
Who else do I have lined up? Actually, I have some other people lined up that I haven't even told you about.
Yeah, I know which I'm pumped. On the 25th, we have Nick Scarbacio. He is a business coach who has brought all kinds of really great trips and tricks and tips here. Like, we use it. The stuff he came on and we use it every day. So I'm really pumped about that. He'll be here on the 25th. There is a very big guest we're still working through. I'm working with their team on this, of course, because it's a big guest. There's a lot of this little process that I've not really done before, but hopefully we get this confirmed here shortly because it's going to be a big deal, and I'm really pumped about that. August is pretty much booked. September looks like it'll be booked. It's going to be an exciting rest of the year. I can't wait. By the way, Laurie-Ann, You're part of a big show today. I don't know if you realize that, but do you know what episode this is for us with Lunch Talk?
This is 50.
This is 50. That's right. This is episode 50. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you. I'm pretty excited about that because, there is a process to doing these events. All right. Calm down, guys. Calm down. But we did 50 something episodes of our lunch. Our other series, the ATF series, which was a blast. But this one I have absolutely just enjoyed completely. So, anyways, I want to get into it a little, and so I'm going to ask you some questions. The title of this is 9 out of 10 CEOs don't want to hear this, right? And why do you think, as we're going to get into this aspect of looking at, there's a real question, right? And there's an argument on it, and I think the reason is purely just on politics, right? But are we going into a recession? So I want to hear your opinion on this. What do you think CEOs are afraid of right now in this process? Why don't they want to hear the conversation? Because you know what we're going to get into, and you can, by all means, touch on it. But do you believe right now our country's going into a recession? This is in the U.S. By the way, if you're watching, drop in the comments. Let us know. Do you believe we're going into recession or not? Do you think this is hyped or inflated? But according to the reports, that's 2 quarters in a row that our GDP is on the wrong side, which means, technically speaking, it's a recession. Now we just need to get the Fed to officially say it, but what's going to happen? Like, can California actually afford any more higher hike in gas prices? I don't know. But anyways, Laurie-Ann, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I don't think that we need to have a politician that's going to tell us, like, yeah, he's putting a stamp of approval on, yes, that there is a recession. I think the people already feel it. Like I'm hearing, like, like how my friends are talking, how my clients are talking, and you can just hear like how they are starting to get, let's just face it, they're starting to get a little fearful, and they are thinking ahead, and it's the, where can I cut back? Which is why we're having this very show to talk about this, because it's always the, hey, we're going into a recession. So what's that automatic thing? Like, oh, where do I snip and cut things?
Yep. And so what is the number one purpose for a business?
Sales, marketing.
Sales, right? That's right. It's the number one reason that you're in business is to create revenue, right? So obviously, there is things that we should be concerned about. We should be, well, first off, as a business owner, we should always be frugal and watching where we spend our money. We should be always considerate of how we're making investment. And there are times when you really do need to be doubling down in order to get somewhere. But this is where I really find it interesting, because there are companies all throughout the history of this country, for instance, and I'm sure these exist everywhere, but I'm talking about just in the U.S. But there's companies that were made in the toughest and most difficult economic times. Yeah. And it was not their fear of the time, it was their preparation prior to, and it was their aggressiveness to move into being innovative and doubling down during a time when everybody is backing off. So Laurie-Ann, if you, me, and 10 other people are in a race, and those 10 decide that they're going to slow down because they're afraid of what weather or what may be in front, and you and I decide not to slow down but to speed up, when this all goes over, because it always does, it always happens. This is the way economics work, you guys. Just live long enough and you see it. Do some research. No, sorry. Sometimes I you would just think that people spend 5 minutes. My God, you have Google.
Right.
Like, just read, man. Anyways, I don't want to get into this. I was having this conversation earlier with my team. Just read. It's not that hard.
I think I heard that during a previous recession, if not the Depression, that actually Revlon started its company, lipstick. A lipstick company, a makeup company started during a recession when, like, people are cutting back. Like, why are women actually buying lipstick? But come to find out, during recessions, lipstick sales actually go up, because women may not be going to get their hair done. They may not be buying as many pairs of shoes, but they will go and spend the $15, $20 on a tube of lipstick, sometimes a little less, but because it makes them feel good. So there are industries that actually thrive during recessions.
No, absolutely. And if you take a look at what we're going to show you, I'm going to talk about a few that have. And that's the important element. So one of the things that we're going to do today, Laurie-Ann, is I'm going to talk about why 9 out of 10 CEOs do not want to hear this conversation. And the reality is that's because right now, what a lot of you guys are doing is you're cutting back on your marketing, you're cutting back on your sales teams, you're cutting back on all of these opportunities sorry about that, Don. I'll pull that off. You're cutting back on all these opportunities for you to stay in front of your current market. And instead, you're looking at the economy right now and you're like, no, I want my salespeople to be in front of more people. I want to cut back on that budgeting. I want to cut back on their ability to go do their job because I see that things are turning on an economic standpoint. You and 8 others are doing it. And there's that 1 out of 10 that's saying, no, actually, we're about to double up. We're going to hire more sales. We're going to increase our marketing. We're going to increase our coaching and training for our individuals so that they become more impactful. Because while everybody's slowing down, this is my opportunity to get in front of their market, to get in front of their customers, and now finally get that little moment that I'm looking for. And so the challenges right now for you is that if you're a business owner, I don't care if it's a large business, small business, if you are a leader running a team, and if you don't agree with me, please let me know in the comments. But I'm telling you right now, as a small business, we have thrived on every opportunity that looks horrible everywhere else because we're doubling down. Because while you're slowing down, we're getting in front of the people you're no longer talking to, and I'm going to take them. Because that's all I was waiting for.
Right. You were waiting for that. Like, this is your
I was waiting for this moment. I'm waiting.
Right. And you know what else? I'm going to take a little pause on what we're kind of talking about here also. And that, what does this do for our team and our employees, the people that hire us? Like, if they see us as those leaders of the organization, and we're not cutting back on training, we're actually adding more to the training. We are giving them what they need. It just makes happier employees, and happier employees are going to feel safer in the organization and won't be looking for
what a great point. What a great point. We're actually doing that. We have our staff is attending events. We've put them through training. They just started a new program called Take Courage. By the way, cannot wait to announce it. So we've talked a little bit about this. Let's take a second and do this. All right, so for those of you guys who don't know, if you know Coach Kevin in the Forge Legend process, Coach Kevin and MW Partners, essentially, we have merged in some coaching aspects. Are launching a new thing called Take Courage. It's coming from the Kevin Woisen house of all of his different programs, and our team is starting to go through that now. They're the first ones to go through this amazing 3-week course that's going to prepare them, their mind, and their mindset themselves, and get themselves aligned, because this is a time for us to be getting an alignment and really understanding that we don't need to be afraid of what the world is trying to do, the news and everybody else, all the media, and everything's horrible, and China's going to blow up Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan, whatever the hell is going on. I try to stay away from the news as much as I can right now, because it's nothing but negativity, and this is about really stepping out, taking courage, and being done with the fear that is constantly being fed to us day in and day out. Anyways, I can't wait to talk about more. This will be coming out in the coming days, and you're going to all have an opportunity to be a part of it if you want. It's awesome. It's completely online, and it's great, and it's easy to do, and I think it's only like $200.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it's like nothing. So anyways, I'm pumped about that. I can't wait to let everybody know more about it. But what you just said is important. My God, you're absolutely right. Like, I'm pumped that my team's going to be going off to a training in Houston for 3 days in September. I'm pumped that we're starting to double down on building us up and getting more content out there, and doubling down on more webinars, more training, more technical conversations, more shows like this with Lunch Talk, more guests, more, because we were waiting for a moment when you, sorry guys, as an organization said, hey, we're going to back off on our marketing. We're going to have this person do this, or we're going to slow it down a little bit. We're going to cut back on our sales teams. We're going to cut back on our teams traveling, because this is what you do. All right, let's get into this, because I want to show you guys something. Donnie, can we bring it up? Laurie-Ann's like, I was fired up. I slept really well, Laurie. So,
good.
Yeah.
I was excited for this.
Yeah, me too. I passed out to Goodfellas. I got like 10 minutes in. I slept great. I woke up like in the same spot. I didn't even move. All right, so let's, Donnie, make it a little bit bigger for me. No background or something like that. What do you mean it's as big?
That's a great quote. When opportunity knocks, it's too late to prepare.
I'm an old man, Don. I can't see it. All right, when opportunity knocks, right? It's too late to prepare. I love this, John Wooden. So as leaders, it's our job to be prepared and ready for ways to be innovative. Oh, by the way, these are 11 things you need to know as a leader on how to seize opportunity. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you're 9 out of 10 that are not trying to get in front of your competition, but you would like to, here we go. Okay? If you don't want to do things differently because you figure it's the way it's always been done, by all means. But things are changing. This world is moving at a completely different rate.
And and I wonder if it's a knee-jerk reaction to, we're going into a recession, time to save money, and they save it in all the wrong places because, like, whoever's running these companies, they were working for some other company probably during some other recession, and that's what they saw, or who knows, maybe it's just like what we're teaching people in business school.
It is.
What are your thoughts on that?
Business school. I love it. I've got a new graduate. She's intelligent as all heck. She's amazing as an employee, and she laughs every time I open my mouth because she goes, I didn't learn this.
They didn't teach us that.
Yeah, they didn't teach me this. And I'm like, yeah, and you went to a great college and you're super smart and you just graduated recently. And yeah, no, they're not going to teach you that. Why?
Hey, I come from healthcare, Rico, and what they taught us in books is completely different than real life. Go figure.
Yeah.
Remember,
electrical engineer, same thing. I got out and I was like, what? Anyways, what they teach you is the problem-solving aspect, right? This is not about that. That's a whole nother conversation if we want to talk about education and today's education system. Not touching that. I'm already pissing people off today, so let's just stay on one piss-off train. All right, so bad times create innovation. Netflix, Airbnb, Microsoft, GE. My God, the list goes on in sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm trying to read. And
we gotta let John. We gotta let Donnie.
I know. Donnie, move the faces out of the way, please. I will just do this right here. All right, there it is. GE, Walt Disney, all of these founded in bad times. This is when innovation happens. So when you think about it, it's our job to prepare prior. So on hindsight, yes, you should have been ready. You should be preparing. But if there's anything right now that you need to be learning is how to prepare for the current situation, how to prepare yourself for what you're going through in this current time, looking at the lessons that you should be learning. And instead of, like you said, Laurie-Ann, knee-jerking, is being more engaged to say, okay, there's a lesson right here that I need to understand. I'm going to implement this or put this into a place that it's going to be a process and a way we respond going forward. All right. So there's a lot of ways that you can learn to become more innovative and more responsive in a tough and difficult time right now, at the same time as trying to ensure that you're preparing to go through it. Okay, so you don't necessarily just have to be like, well, I didn't do anything and now I have to respond. Yep, it may be a little more difficult, but at the same time, this is the moment to take those and implement it so you don't forget later. Laurie-Ann, agree?
This kind of reminds me of, we never learn lessons. This is from my leadership days. We never learn lessons in good times. Whoever sat back and said, man, that went well. What should we learn from that? We don't. We actually it's the difficult times, the challenges that most people are they just try to get through. But what we should be doing is what worked, what didn't work all the time. And I think if we start looking as we're going into this interesting economic time, that we actually decide maybe each week you and your teams should be sitting back and saying, okay, what worked well, what didn't work well, what do we wish we could have done differently?
That's exactly what worked, what didn't work, and what do we need to do to change it, and then move into it. So let's put the slide up, just the whole slide itself. So good to know. Next time I build this, I'll make it in widescreen. But I actually, just so you know, you guys want a copy of this? Just let us know, drop it in the chat. I will send you the PDF. I'll send it to you. Just if you want it, or actually just get in our community, text me and let me know. Right? Might as well do a I can see Donnie look. Text lunch. Or text me at 316-799-8052. That's it. Text me at 316-799-8052 and let me know, hey, I want the 11 rules. It's an automated response that you're going to get back. It does go to my phone, and then I will send you the link. And I might just give you a little code to put in so that it'll automatically go, but I haven't done that yet. But anyways, join the community. Let us know you're out there watching. We'll let you know when we do more of these. But I am happy to share this with you. Just let me know. It's actually a really good document. So, all right, let's put it up. Full screen, Donnie, please. Thank you very much. So if you look, Netflix founded in 1997. Why? They were able to exploit the opportunity there as things were happening and recession was starting to change with the dot-com bubble, right? They blew up. Blockbuster wanted, they thought nobody would ever change. They were like, we're going to be innovative, and Blockbuster laughed. They said no one's ever going to leave the experience of walking through a video store. So have fun trying to find how many of those still exist. Airbnb founded in 2008. Microsoft founded in 1975. So you look at the Great Recession, Airbnb blew up because all of a sudden they were giving people options outside of hotels, right? Think about, we don't even have Uber in there. Like, think about all these different companies that change the game because they're willing to be innovative. And I know you guys are like, yeah, everybody uses these. No, you need to listen and understand. It's not just about these companies, but it's about how the companies took advantage of an opportunity because they were ready. We don't have this in the list, but how many of you know, do you know what the growth was for Zoom? Do you know what Zoom did in terms of its subscribers in 30 days?
I can't even imagine, but I'm really interested to hear this number.
Okay, so many of us, especially in a corporate environment, we were using companies like GoToMeeting and a bunch of different others. There was all kinds of different multiple web platforms, and there was this little guy, this little company been around for Zoom, and is mainly the hipsters and all the other folks out there. We're all using this free service because we didn't want to pay for anything super expensive. You can get it for free. Everybody can use it. It was great. And the whole pandemic hits. Everybody's going to the web platform. Everybody's getting on their current sources, and they're crashing everywhere. All of the different podcasting and all the different webinars and everything, it's crashing everywhere. But Zoom had built their infrastructure not for 1 million or for 10 million, but they had built their entire infrastructure for 300, 400, 500 million users way before they even had anywhere close to that. At the time of the pandemic, they were around 10 million users globally, worldwide. By the end of that month, they were over 300 million.
Wow.
And they did it without skipping a beat because everybody else was pulling back. They were failing to deliver. And Zoom was just waiting. And the minute it happened, their free service, their ability to execute, their ability to perform, people just flooded Zoom. Right. Now, Zoom is where they are today because they were positioned and ready for the market to hit a turn, and they took it. And just like that, it became one of the number one platforms.
And now it's like, we use it like the word Kleenex. It's like, hey,
use it like yeah, we'll get on a Zoom. Yeah, jump on a Zoom call. You're absolutely right. It's become part of pop culture. All right, let's get back over to the slide. So I'm gonna jump over. So that's some of the information. Again, I want you guys, if you wanna have this, just let me know and I'll send it to you. So number 2 is learning how to brand yourself. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. I cannot stress this enough. But right now is the opportunity for you to get out there and get seen. So I'm going to tell you a little something about me here. I was just doing the numbers and I was speaking with another client. And let me tell you how simple it is just to be consistent. So I usually post a couple times a day. Sometimes I'll miss a day or two. I don't like that. That's not what I recommend. I recommend you should be posting every day, 2 to 3 times. Every day. Different types of engagements. That's the number one way to do this. But let me tell you something. I go to an event. Those of you guys who are watching this, I don't care how many people are sitting on live or not, because by the time this gets seen over and over again, by the way, I do want to know if you're here. So if you are here, drop a hashtag live. Let us know. If you're watching on a replay, drop a hashtag replay. I love this stuff, by the way. I don't know if you can tell, Laurie-Ann.
Just a little bit. Could you have a little more enthusiasm about this?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. All right. So, but check this out. So I did the analytics because LinkedIn offers that now. If you're out there as an influencer, they now give you an ability to see analytics, which was great because they gave it to me a week after I signed up for a year-long service from a third party to get the same data. But anyways, whatever. So my name, my messages, and anything I'm posting in 365 days, if I'm doing 2 posts a day, what's the math on that, Laurie?
2 posts a day.
36, so 730, right? 730?
Yeah.
At the most?
Every single day.
A little over 700 posts. In 1 year, not posting every day, posting a couple times here, there, but staying consistent. In 365 days, I have created 235,000 impressions in the LinkedIn community. So my name, my voice, my message, my beard, my hats, it doesn't matter what it is. But me as a marketing strategist, as a branding expert for both company and personal branding, as somebody who's coaching our clients on how to leverage LinkedIn for business or person, and I'm competing against lots of folks that do this, my market is seeing me over 250,000 times in the last 365 days. So when I tell people I don't advertise, I create organic inbound leads, that's how. And that's all it took, is just that small level of consistency. Personal branding is absolutely key to your business, to your corporation, to your brand name, to how people view and see you, how they build trust. If you are not taking the advantage right now as a company to get out in front of the market, and I mean 10x down, not just double down, be out there. Go ahead, Laurie-Ann.
I was going to say, and we were talking about this personal brand just a couple of weeks ago, how there are companies out there that don't want their employees to be out there like marketing essentially for them, getting in front of the clients and customers that they want.
Yeah, it's because
they're personal brand. It doesn't matter. It's not just for entrepreneurs.
That's right. And that's where they mess us up. So number 2, in terms of the number 2 rule that you need to know right now to take advantage during an economic downturn, as a CEO, as a leader, is ensure that your team members, anybody who's a brand ambassador for your organization, you're not just kind of doing this. This is mandatory. You are on every day. You are posting every day. You are putting out content. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be full production. It has to be people seeing your name and your voice and a message and getting to learn about you. Why? Because 9 out of 10 are not doing it. And this is your opportunity to get a lead up on your competition. So anyways, bring it back up, Don, for me. Thank you very much. By the way, there's a great video. Do you even brand, bro? I don't remember who came up with the name. Love it. It was with our other coaching program name, so it says 11, but get over it. The message is great, and I go into some of the stuff. So let me go to the next slide here. Hey, Don, can you control the slides for me from where you're at? Thumbs up? Okay, good, so I don't have to do it. Because it seems like every time I touch this, I'm screwing up. Okay, he's giving me the, you're screwing things up face. All right.
And Rico, I mean, here it is. Like, there's so many different ways that you can be getting your brand out. And you know that I'm all about speaking, and that brings in organic leads and organic marketing. Yep. Gets you known, where every time we go into a recession, the speaking world will start to tank. But what a great time to actually get in front of your customers, decide on your platform. I mean, this is how I ended up being your co-host. Yeah. Well, it happened accidentally, but here it is. Like, this is another way just to get in front of your customers and clients. There are so many associations that their job is to have meetings for their members, their paying members. And if they can't hire speakers, well, guess what? As a member, raise your hand to be positioned as the expert and start speaking, or do like what we're doing here, create your own stage.
Yep, that's right. And who's going to argue that says you're not an expert? That's one of the things I try to tell people is, listen, are you doing the job? You're the expert in the job. Let me back up. Disclaimer. If you don't know what you're doing, then don't say you know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing, be the expert.
Own it.
Be the expert. Your competition is going to be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, what are you doing?
Right.
Your market's out there. Like, learn. You have to branding yourself. Oh my God. Okay, I don't want to get stuck here because this drives me nuts, Laurie-Ann. Like, brand yourself. My gosh, you guys. Like, people need to get to meet you, know you, and so you can help them. It's that simple. So let's go back to the list real quick. Right here, as I look at Gary Vee, you're competing with a new infrastructure that is going to market properly to the end customer using the infrastructure of the mobile web and the last mile infrastructure of the 5 biggest companies in the world. There has never been a bigger disruption. So understand, there's never been a bigger disruption in all of business ever than what's happening right now. And you shouldn't be so concerned about the tool that's being used. You should be more concerned about the outcome. And everybody gets stuck on the tool. Well, that's not what I do. I like to, spend a couple $1,000s a month on a magazine ad that's only focused in my market because they have 35,000 subscribers. But the truth is that one office has 100 or 50 or 20 of them. They sit on a coffee table. They get scanned at maybe, and they get tossed in the trash, and no one ever sees it again. Yet, this little guy that's only got a few thousand people following, because I really don't care how many people follow. I care about the end result. I can't even keep up with the business that we constantly have. Why? Because I care about the end result, not about the tool that gets me there. The vehicle that we use to get there should not matter. If today it's live and it's LinkedIn and it's TikTok, then that's where it's at. If tomorrow it's hiring a prop plane to fly around with those big giant banners, guess what? If it's going to get me the result I'm looking for as a business and as a business owner, so be it.
Yeah, but you're going to want to be the person that actually flies that plane. I know you.
I want to get in a clown suit and lock my feet on the top and do that, right? I think that'd be amazing. I'm not going to lie. But here's the thing, Laurie-Ann, we get so stuck in this and understanding the importance of branding and understanding the disruption. You guys, now's the opportunity. I guarantee you right now, we were already seeing it. We're seeing it with some of our clients. We're seeing it, and it's normal. We're used to this. Oh, things are changing. We're going to get scared. Well, look, I'm only going to tell you a couple times. This is the worst time for you to get scared, but it's your business.
Jump in.
That's fine. I'm just going to make room. I'm just going to make room for new customers that are ready to double down and have more excitement. So I'm good to go. All right, so we'll go to the next one. By the way, when I do save the link, and if you want this document, all the stuff's active and live. It'll play the video and it'll move to it. So if, like everything I have here, you'll be able to enjoy it. It really is a good document. So question everything. One of the things that we like to talk about is the importance of this is knowing how to question everything. A lot of times people say like, oh, you shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't macro micromanage. We're going to get into that a little bit here in a second. But you should be questioning everything. As a founder, as a builder, as a leader, as a CEO, put it back down, please. You need to be questioning everything that you're doing because this is the opportunity for you to be innovative. I have here an example. If you disagree with the statement of this, sweat the small stuff. This is especially important as an entrepreneur or in a startup. You have to challenge. Why? Because there were companies like Blockbuster, Radio Shack, Toys R Us, JCPenney, Sears, Xerox, Nokia, Yahoo, Segway, IBM, MySpace, Macy's, Hitachi, Borders. We can go on and on and on and on. These are all companies that did not question where they were at, their process, and during an economic change, during a revolution of technology, these are all little things that shift. They did not question their current methods of process. They said, this is the way we always done it. This is how we built our fortune. It will never go away. Those companies no longer exist. Done.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, do you want to become obsolete or do you want to be around at the end of this?
That's
for the
it.
next.
You're right. If you don't change, you die. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's, in nature, if you stand still, right? If you stand still, you stop. You can't stop. Nothing's changed with business. It's got to be the same way. So let's go back to the slide. I'm going to go to the next one here. Question everything. I go into that a little bit more. Embrace change. Never stop expanding. It's one of the things I love about from John Maxwell. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Growth is optional. And that's probably one of the things that I love the most about this particular statement is that you can or cannot be the responsible, like the reason why your business changes. It really is up to you. Like, change is going to happen. It's up to you if you decide that you want to grow from it and then expand into your team, expand in your company, expand into others. The gift, Laurie-Ann, that we get from sharing with others, right? Yeah. From sharing with others in what it is that we do is amazing when we recognize just the power of that and how that feeds us. So the growth comes from our access to information, knowledge, learning that change is inevitable, and then pushing that out, sharing with others, then we grow. And that really is, that statement is such a true statement. What's your thoughts on
it? Just being open to it also. I mean, like, I came into the online world because of a change, because I was tired of hopping on airplanes, tired of showing up on somebody else's airplane, and the opportunity presented itself. I mean, when that woman texted me saying, "Hey, Laurie-Ann, do you write speeches for people?" I could have just been like, yeah, I don't, and just ignored the whole thing and just went, you know what? I'm just going to keep suffering, like flying across the country and like showing up on other people's audiences instead of, well, how can I actually help more people? And that text message, like, that was the change that helped me and my new company grow. But this is happening all the time. We've got new technologies that show up. Are we embracing them? Or are you the sort of person that's just sitting back saying, well, let me see how this is going to work. Let me see if this YouTube thing really works out.
Yeah. You know what? I have folks that we put in front of customers all the time, but training them how to public speak, nah. Training them how to tell a story, sales isn't storytelling. They don't need that, right? Giving them an edge. How many companies do you think in one area? Let's look at car sales. This is great. Can you imagine how amazing any car dealer would be if they actually put their guys through real training, not sales training on how to sell a car, but how to talk to a human being, how not to invade their space, how to solve a problem. I'm thinking about the environments when you walk up and it feels like you just dropped a jelly bean at a park, at a picnic, and the ants like, whoa.
Yeah. Learning how to communicate with confidence. I actually have a new client, and that is exactly what her whole business is all about, is helping other people communicate with confidence, just saying the right thing. You're right, like just saying, like, car salesmen or realtors or anybody. Can you imagine if you learn public speaking skills? How much would that increase your value? How much would that increase your worth?
That's right. How much more would your message come across?
Yes.
How much more would your potential client receive?
Yeah.
Your potential customer get? You got to remember something. It's not about you. Out of here. It's not about so much about you increasing your skills, because it is, but it isn't. It's more about the fact that your message is competing with other messages. Your product is competing with other products. You want to give yourself every edge possible. If you're learning a skill set like public speaking, Laurie-Ann, and the rest of my competition has not, and they can be good speakers, but they haven't learned those small details and the nuances and those little elements that make a huge difference in how it's being received on the other end. It's how the customer is recognizing it. It's how your potential market is accepting you or not.
Yeah.
Right? And if they're not accepting you, then guess what? They're going to accept somebody, and somebody's message is going to resonate. You need to learn how to resonate your message. This is how you're going to grow. All right, let's get back to the PowerPoint. Let's go next slide. How quickly do you see? I love this. So this is about the change. In order, the process that change is inevitable, growth is optional. One of the things I love that John Maxwell says, he goes, in the past, leadership, and let me see if it's in there. In today's current economy, the way we conduct business has created many incredible innovations that we have made a new way to make lives that would have never been imagined 5 or 10 years ago. But for those who continue to embrace change, not grow from it, but thrive from it, these are the people today that will change the world tomorrow. And it's always about, and I'm good with that, Donnie, thank you, but it is about how quickly you can respond. One of the other things in that interview that I have the video link, and I love it, he goes, there was a time where as a leader, all I needed to be able to do was be able to envision 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, and the big business plan, and here's my 5-year run-up and outcome. Today that has changed. It's not about who can see the furthest, it's who can move the fastest. Who can move the fastest? That's the one who's taking market share. Who can make a quick turn, who can change their organization's push, who can recognize like, okay, there's an economic change that's happening. I get it. My gas prices doubled. Getting my sales guys out into the field has literally doubled or tripled in cost. Maybe instead of not cutting them back, why don't I innovate their skill set? Let's get them into social scaling techniques and skills. Let's get them to start broadcasting themselves through live webinars and having open conversations. Let's give them tools that will multiply their skill sets. Let's teach them public speaking. Let's teach them how to have decent etiquette in emails and in social media. My God, how about let's take a profile photo and just upload that as start. Number 1, can you guys do that for me, please? Upload a profile photo. Please look like, and don't give me one from high school when you were like in super good shape.
And look in the camera.
Yeah, look at the camera.
Yeah, people need to see each other's eyes. Like
Donnie's shaking his head. It's true, man. It drives me nuts. You know what? And let me give you one more tip, okay? For all you guys out there, if I accept you, tell me, and the first thing you do is spam me with "this is my business," I'm not going to do business with you. Okay? Stop. Mm-hmm. Build a relationship. My God, I love these. Hey, have you ever thought about owning your own business? I'm like, okay, you're out.
Oh, I love the ones who say,
you take 2 seconds to read.
I love the ones who say, like, hey, I noticed this problem on your website. It's like, I didn't even, I don't believe I have a problem on my website.
Yeah. I got one, and I'm like, I have zero, I spend zero effort on my website. They're like, yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Well, do you want it fixed? No, I don't. I don't really care. I have it up because some people need to see it. I should probably, but I don't use my website. I do it right here. This is where I build my business. You want to get a hold of me? I gave you my damn number. Text me. 769-98052.
I was just going to say, what's that number again?
Yeah, there's Text me. That's it. You want to get to know me? Text me. Why? Because I'm part of I'm accepting that the generation behind me is innovating the industry I'm in today, and they're now dictating how business can be done. I got to do this 10, 15, 20 years ago to the generation above me. I'm okay embracing the fact that today they want to coordinate through text, Discord, Slack, maybe Instagram, but for sure in the social media settings like LinkedIn and other areas and TikTok, I accept it. I'm good with that. I hired my last employee, resume and everything through a text. I got her resume in a text. And I thought, I was like, it's so crazy. It's so crazy. The entire communication was done through text messaging. But you know what was crazy? Instead of saying, I need you to email this, I stopped for a moment and I embraced it. I said, okay, she's in her mid-20s. She's smart. So she's not doing this to be lazy. Am I learning from a new way of communicating? And so I took it, I uploaded, and I said, you know what? My cell phone has access to the printer. It has access to my network. It has access to my OneDrive. Why don't I just use my phone and be okay with the fact that this is a text message? And it was a PDF, and I got it. And guess what? I had no issues. She didn't feel that her way of communicating with me was disrupting her process, and she didn't feel like, oh, right? Oh, God, I'm about to enter ancient world.
I was just going to say that.
Like, I don't even know why would they have email addresses, you know?
Yeah, if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, like you go, just like you said, go and print it. But, I don't think I'm I'm not sure I know how to send a text PDF myself.
Yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it, Laurie-Ann. But the thing is that change is inevitable. Growth is optional. I love it. All right, let's get back to the slide, Donnie. How quickly do you see it? Again, how fast can you move? Let's go to the next one. I want to get through these quick. I know we're not going to have the time to really get into all of it. But another one, rule number 6 that you can use as a leader is keep it super simple. One of the things that made Netflix very strong and what they were doing in comparison to the rest of the world was they weren't overthinking it. They started with something small. Let me tell you something right now. If you are a business and you're worried about where you're going to be in a recession, do me a favor. Go ahead and bring us up, Don. You probably have like a million different things that you can do. You can service. I'm the one-stop shop fix-all. I can do somersaults. I can do backflips. I can roll around on my head. I can do a million things. Check it out. You have 1 or 2, maybe 3 areas that your business is making the most money, or you're having the least amount of resistance. You want to do something? You want to cut back? Cut back on all the crap that you offer. I'm going to tell you right now, focus your team in a couple core areas. Get them focused to know how to talk, how to explain, how to problem solve in that area. That's how you could do it. You want to figure out how you're going to strategize and strengthen in this downturn of the economy. You're going to do it by focusing on one main core product, then maybe a secondary, and then a fiduciary. I love that word so much.
Pruning. It's time to prune.
That's it. It's time to prune. Don't prune them. Don't prune your marketing. Don't prune your sales. Don't prune your ability to get in front of the market. Prune what you're giving them as information and stop confusing the hell out of them.
The stuff that you don't love to do, the stuff that is getting old, the stuff that people are interested in anymore. I mean, and I'm also a big fan of asking your clients, your current customers, what do you want?
Yeah,
we always forget about that.
Oh my God, boy, that's whoa, Laurie-Ann, you're an out of box thinker. That you're coming up with some crazy ideas here. I don't know about that. Donnie, let's go to the slide real quick. Go to the next one. Again, keep it super simple. Number 7. Oh, are you moving it? Because I can't move it now. Oh, wait, this is good. Don't go too far. I love this. Henry Ford said, listen, if I had asked people what they wanted, they'd have said faster horses. So not to disregard what you're saying, Laurie-Ann, but we need to understand as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a founder, as an innovator, we have to know how to read between the lines because your customers will ask you for what they want, and you need to learn how to give them what they need.
Yes, 100%.
Okay? That is your job. That is your job. Go ahead, Laurie-Ann.
And I was just going to say, like in Henry Ford's, situation, exactly that. People wanted to get from point A to point B faster, and that's what he heard. Which is like, he goes, I'm taking out a horse. Like nobody wants a faster horse. They want a vehicle that gets them from point A to point B.
Yeah, that's right. He's absolutely right. If I asked them what they wanted, they just wanted faster horses. What they wanted was to get to the destination faster.
Yes.
And see, we have to learn how to. That's right.
Yeah, we have to decipher.
What was that, Laurie-Ann?
What I was saying is that, like, as the entrepreneur, as the company owner, as the innovator, we have to be able to glean that information, listen to what they're saying, and be able to here's what they really need. That's what they want. but here's what they really need.
Love it. Let's go back to the slide, Don. All right. Let's go to the next one. Yep. So number 6, that should actually be 7. There may have been a mistake there. So stay balanced between the past, present, and future. Here's what I mean by that. Laurie-Ann, one of the things that's absolutely important is right now, especially in the time that we have today, we need to ensure that we are absolutely looking out so that we can plan ahead. But we shouldn't be so far out that we're allowing the fear and everything around us to do that thing. Like, that's it. Everything's coming. The whole world's going to end. I'm cutting everything. I'm cutting everything. Right? This is not where we want to be. This is our opportunity to actually get out there and look enough in the future, learn from our past, but don't live in the past, because living in that past, listen, this isn't any good training, teaching. I don't care if you're hearing it at church, from your therapist, from a counselor, in business, from a friend. You stay too much in the past, you don't grow. It's that simple. You live in the past and you stay there.
I think the past can be educational.
Yes.
When we look back on it to like, what information can I take so that I can change my future?
That's right. No, that's absolutely right. But at the same time, we live too far in the future, Laurie-Ann, then we fear the present. We need to be in the present. This is where we're going to make the biggest change. So learning how to be the balance. Yes, an economy shift is happening. Yes, this is the worst our country has been in terms of inflation and costs. I was blown away the other day when I grabbed, I forget what it was, but I grabbed it off the shelf. We're at Costco, and I looked at my wife and I was like, I have never noticed, it was milk. We do almond milk. So, the little packs of 3, and I was like, holy crap, it's $10.
Yeah.
Like, when did it get to be $10 for 3 little half cartons of almond milk?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just nuts.
I hear
It's
you.
nuts. But that's where we're at. It doesn't mean I'm afraid. It doesn't mean I'm going to, like, I'm not cutting back on certain things, especially not food for my family. But understand is I'm focused. And I've told my team the same thing. We're going to be we're hardline focused on these core areas of our business, our primary, secondary, and fiduciary. That's it. But primary area, this is what we want to do. We want to help our clients get attention, get noticed, and boom, secondary, they can also get coaching.
And you, come on, like, your favorite word is? Fiduciary.
Fiduciary. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. And then the fiduciary part, like, yeah, we do other stuff. Yeah. I mean, we can do other marketing stuff for them too, but that's not our core business. It is who we are, but it's not our core business.
Stay in your lane.
That's it. Stay in our lane. All right. Next slide, Don. How much time we got left? All right. We got 7 minutes. So I want to give you guys a couple books. By the way, Laurie-Ann, love your opinion on this, but if you need motivation, here's some things that I think is important, right? Readers, how do I say this? Leaders are readers, but readers are not always leaders. Make no mistake. All leaders, though, are readers. Like, you have to understand this. If you are a successful CEO, you already know that. If you're trying to build yourself into a position of leadership and you're not reading, if you're trying to be successful in any area of your life and you're not feeding your brain, you're never going to get there. I promise you. All right, go back to the slide. These were my picks. Power of Habit, Fanatical Prospecting. Jeb Blunt is like one of the most underrated sales trainers ever, I think. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Foo-Foo.
That is
I didn't know you were going to do that. And that actually scared me. Oh, you didn't know because that actually scared me. That was so loud. I was like, I actually got scared. Atomic Habits, Laws of Leadership, 12 Rules for Life. I think these books are awesome. Next, Laurie-Ann, drop some in the comments if you have book ideas. I want to know yours.
You want to know mine?
Really, I want to know yours. Drop some.
Well, a couple of mine are going to be. One is my first book, because really it's a personal development book.
I love it. I love it. Wait, listen. There is nothing wrong Nothing. With a little self-plugging.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay.
As all of us talking about our brands, we should be
Not
okay
all of us.
talking
Not all of us are best-selling authors, Laurie-Ann. Sorry, I have my own book to post, but absolutely,
we can work on
Laurie-Ann's
that.
book. All right, sounds good. I was just talking to the team about that. I was like, I'm thinking my first book is going to be 50 things in life not to do. Here are 50 things you should know, like 50 things I wish I knew 43 years ago.
That would be a great book.
And I told them, like, yeah, I gave them a couple. I was like, it'll be like everywhere. But these are all things like I didn't have a father growing up for most of my life, and there's certain things that I didn't have, and I made a lot of really great mistakes. You know, some worse than others, some not so bad, but I really would have enjoyed not having to do that because the humiliation would have been great to know. Some are just little things you learn in trial and error, and nobody will tell you this stuff. Even people that have parents involved in their life, like I tell my kids, you know what I mean? I'm like, this is going to be an uncomfortable conversation, but you need to know this. All right, let's go back here real quick. It takes time, but be consistent. Just like in your branding, just like in your message, be consistent. Repetition and consistency is key. It's absolutely key. Show up. This is why we show up every week. Every week we show up to this show. Mm-hmm. It's a promise I made to you guys in the beginning of the year.
And that's why we're here. That's why we're here a day early. Because
that's right. We're here. That's right. Because we're traveling tomorrow. Mm-hmm. That's right.
I'm going to be running the show next week.
That's right. Laurie-Ann will be running the show, by the way. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be Thursday, same time, 1 p.m. Central. She's got an amazing guest. Women in leadership, conversation. Cannot wait to watch it. I'll be driving an RV, but I am going to watch it, by the way. All right, next, Donnie, real quick. Let's get through these real fast to get through the 11 rules. Number 9, nobody does it alone. Go get help. Get coaching. Let people train your team. Improve what you're doing. Learn. Get public speaking coaches to teach your team how to better get their message across. Learn how to social sell. Learn how to leverage the tools you have. Go get a business coach. Don't get rid of consultants. Go find them to improve your current process. You know, the great thing about finding consultants that do their jobs is they're not an employee. If you don't have to keep them forever, get them in, have them help fix, improve, and then get them out. And then go get the next one. It's really that easy. Just so you know, as a consultant, as a coach, I'm not hurt over that. If I'm coaching you for years, I suck at being a coach. Laurie-Ann, right? Is that not the truth?
It's so true. I don't like my clients to become dependent on me. I'm just like,
no, I have enough dependent people. I have employees and I have children and I have myself. Like, I don't need any more. All right, next. Not that my employees annoy me or my children annoy me. I just want to throw that out. Seek help. Nobody does alone. Number 10, Donnie. What? Okay. All right. Follow the 24-hour rule. You need to check this out. First off, in here is a link to a video that Patrick McDavid does. Love this guy. 10 Enemies of Success. You got to watch that that content. But let me explain the 24-hour rule. And I've talked about this before. Laurie-Ann, you're going to love it if you haven't heard this. It's real simple. Something goes wrong, take the time you need to cope with it. It's the 24-hour rule. Bring us up here real quick, Don, because I can talk through this one. But it's as simple as this. You cry for 24, you celebrate for 24. Otherwise, out of that, get your ass back to work. It's that simple. You need the time, do it. One issues that I have found, and leaders, I want you to listen to me on this one, but you're probably not succeeding in celebrating. When you have a win, take the time and celebrate the win. You need that just as much as you need downtime to deal with something negative.
And it doesn't have to be a huge win. It's the getting in the habit of celebrating those little things that lead up to the big things.
That's exactly right. You know, I hired a consultant a couple months ago. I always hire consultants to come in and help. And I had him come in and talk to the team. You guys know Sam Tasker. He came in, helped me work some stuff out. And he said, you know what, Rigo, one of the biggest things that I'm noticing, first off, great job. Your entire team you guys are all talking the same talk. You're thinking the same thing, like amazing job. But there's one thing that I noticed nobody here has. Nobody here talks about. I said, what? He goes, your wins. You are not celebrating your wins. So your team is not celebrating the wins. So nobody is celebrating the growth. You're just moving on because Rigo Murillo is go get the next one, go get the next one, go get the next one. Because I'm a small business owner. I'm going to go get him. That's what I do. And I had to learn that. Like, holy crap, you're right.
That's part of the be present.
That's right. And we as leaders are leading. And if we're leading them to learn how to not celebrate, then guess what? Nobody does, and it becomes a part of the culture. We never celebrate the wins, but we always talk about the losses.
As a matter of fact, when I start my coaching calls off with my private clients, that's the first question I ask them is, what are your wins? I get them to talk about their wins first.
Yep.
Because I do want to know, like, what did you, like, it's like the big and little things. And some days, it's like I got out of bed and I made a post.
You know what? Great. That's a win. But isn't that funny how hard it is for us to celebrate that? We do this now, too, every day. One up, one down. I do it with my clients now, too, except we call it a little different. It's, my clients know it. They love it. They all tell me this is their favorite part. But we talk about a win and we talk about a loss, and then we get going into the conversation because we need to train our brains to actually think positive. So let me go back to the slide real quick. Again, 24-hour rule, celebrate your win. Great, you're done. Get back to work. I don't care how big or small it is, but that's the other thing. Don't get stuck in celebration mode. Success is like the number one killer to any business. Success will absolutely destroy you faster than anything else because you're like, yes, I made it. I'm there. And then you forget you have to keep doing the work. So 24-hour rule. Let's go to number 11, the last and what I feel is one of the most important, be first to fail and fail fast. Right? I love this. Rachel Wolchin says this, and we put the quote in. It's not about how we make mistakes, but it's how we correct them that defines us. And it's more important that we're learning from these mistakes and how we're moving forward in the journey. This goes back to not living in the past. This goes back to us not being too far in the past as much as not being too far in the future. But when you look at these different elements that I'm sharing with you guys as a leader, this hopefully would give you some tips or advice that are going to allow you to look at and think at things a little differently, to be able to understand that the reality is right now that you're not going to be able to fix or change everything. But I'll tell you this, the faster you fail, the better. Because failure is going to happen. If you don't think you're going to screw up, then you're in for a rude awakening. And when you do, it's going to hit hard and it may knock you out of the game. As a fighter, we prepare to get hit. We expect to get knocked down. Don't get me wrong. You're going to pump yourself up. Ain't nobody going to touch me, blah, blah, blah. I fought for years. But you have to get used to getting punched in the face. Like you prepare yourself by getting punched in the face to get punched in the face. The faster you get it over with, the better. Same thing like shooting. After that first pool, once you get, then you're good to go. Which is why they train that way. Just get it out. Because you got to get that past. It's like any area where there's a fear. It's like the first time you jumped off a high dive. The first time you're going to go in the water, like, oh, it's cold. Just jump in. Just go. Just get it over with and go. Pull the Band-Aid. You guys, how many different analogies, Laurie-Ann, can we come up with? But it's all true. And that's the thing that gets me, right?
It gets us out of our comfort zone. You know, a number of years ago, I was like, I've been in my comfort zone for a little too long. And I actually challenged myself and I went and did cryotherapy. I don't know if you've ever done this, but it's negative 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
So I've heard about it. I've been reading more about it. I was just watching Joe Rogan talk about it. I've never done it, but I've heard it's amazing. I heard it sucks. But
during it for those 4 minutes that you're in there, yes, it does suck. But you know what? I was just like, I did it. I did 4 minutes.
So I think we had cryotherapy for like 4 years when we lived up in Duluth, Minnesota. When it would get like negative 50, negative 60 outside, I didn't think that was humanly possible. which is why we don't live there anymore, because I don't think humans should live in an environment where school gets canceled at -50.
That's crazy. That's just
crazy. That's just nuts. Yeah. But we got used to it, oddly enough. All right, there it is. 11 rules for you guys as leaders. Hopefully, CEOs, listen, did you get any value out of this? I know there was a lot there.
I loved it.
Thank you, Laurie.
I loved it.
But this is episode 50. I really wanted to kind of shake it up. And we want them to have a copy of this, right, Laurie-Ann?
Yes. So what is that text? I mean, I want a copy of it also.
All right. So, you know what? I don't know. What should we call it? 11 rules? I don't know. Listen, do us a favor. Just text 316-799-02. Tell us you want a copy of the PDF, and I will send it to you, and then we will update and put a post out and tell you guys how to get it. I promise you, we'll make it available within the next 60 minutes of this going live. It will be ready for you. I have to make a couple changes. I've seen a few things I didn't like. I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my content.
But at least you're putting it out there. That's the important thing.
Yeah, it's going out. You guys have it for free. I want nothing out of it other than you to tell me what you think and enjoy it and hopefully get some value out of it. I think we got to activate the links because that was just a version to share. But I hope you guys listen. Let me know what you think. Laurie-Ann, you liked it? You enjoyed it? Yeah?
I liked it. I think this was a great conversation to have. I think it was very timely. And, this is not a time to slow down. This is a time for all of us just to reevaluate what you want to be doing, reevaluate how you're doing things, just be open to finding some new ways to do what you were doing and maybe some new ways to move forward.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Donnie, let's go ahead and start ramping up to get us out of here. We are over time, but I want to thank you guys very, very much for being here. Laurie-Ann and I are so grateful. And Laurie-Ann, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your consistency, your dedication to this program, to the consistency and dedication to the viewers out there. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. Listen, if you love what we're doing, if you hate what we're doing, if you're kind of on the fence, we don't care. We want to hear from you. How can we better? How can we improve? Next Thursday, give me the date. Today's the 3rd, 10th.
11th.
Is it on 11th? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the 11th.
Okay, the 11th. Yeah, because today's Wednesday. Okay, that's right. Sorry. I forget what day we're doing because we do this on Thursday so often. On the 11th of August at 1 p.m. Central Time, Laurie-Ann will be bringing an amazing guest on as you guys get into females in leadership and that conversation. I cannot wait to watch. I cannot wait to see what's going on. It will be live here as well as it is on Laurie-Ann's page. We'll be broadcasting on both sides. That's not changing, but we want you to be a part of it. Please let us know if you want to get the registration for it. We'll make sure to send it out, but we'd love for you to know what's going on as soon as possible. So join our list as well, 316-799-052. And Laurie-Ann, if they want to get a hold of you, what's the fastest way?
The fastest way to get a hold of me is right over on my website, speakandstandout.com, or if you're right here in LinkedIn's sandbox, just come and find me here on LinkedIn.
Love it. Love it. Okay, listen, you guys, I'm hope this resonated with some of you. I hope you're getting value out of it. And I hope that you have another amazing day. Be blessed. Please enjoy yourself. Go share something with somebody. Go tell somebody you love them. Do me a favor. Share a little bit out there with the world, and let's have a better day, I suppose. But anyways, you guys, God bless. I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Laurie-Ann will be here next week. Talk to you soon. Don, roll us out. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all your support. Bye-bye.